Hello guys, and welcome back to your math exam coach. If you are new to this channel, we try to tackle math problems that you can see on different exam levels, so the A-level exams, the core math, the matric, and so forth. But today we're not looking at an exam question, we are rather looking at a concept that some of you have mentioned that you would like to learn more about. And that concept is of completing the square. But we're going to take a geometric approach to make this a little bit more understandable on what is really going on. So we have x squared plus bx. Here we don't really care about the right hand side right now. When we have a question like this and we want to solve for x, it can become a little bit challenging because we have x appearing both sides. But if we're going to take the geometric approach, we are going to think of this in terms of area. So if we have x squared, that's clearly a square of sides x. This becomes x squared. Here we can think of bx here as a rectangle, right? It has the same length as the square, but it has a width of b. So this becomes bx, right? But in order for us to complete the square, we want to break this square and add it onto. We want to add it onto this original square. Right? So what we want to do is to do this. Right. So now in this case we have a bigger square. So what we're going to do is to break this rectangle into two. So we're just going to split it into a half there, and when we do that, what we end up with is we're going to return this original square, which is x and x, but we are going to have a new rectangle here, which is of width b over 2. This is x, and we're going to have another rectangle here, which is of b over 2 and length x, right? Because we split this rectangle into 2. So this results in a bigger geometric figure here, which now will look like this. And so we're going to have, right? So we have x and b over 2 here, so this naturally becomes x plus b over 2. The same here with b over 2 plus x. So we have x plus b over 2, right? So now we have this area left. This area left, which is also another square, but we do know that this part came from this rectangle, so we do know that this length is also b over 2, right? So in order to make this a complete square, we need to add this small square, which is b over 2, b over 2. So what we really added is b over 2 squared, right? So what does this mean then? So this means that our original expression was x squared plus bx, right? And so what we then did, in order to complete the square, we added this little square, which is b over 2 squared, right? And that created a bigger square, which is x plus b over 2 times x plus b over 2. So now the new square would be of x plus b over 2 squared, right? That would be the area of this new square, and we got this bigger square by adding this extra square, which is b over 2 squared. All right, so that's the geometric representation or approach that gives us the solution that we're working on. So once we have this solution, we want to be able to apply this same concept to solving the quadratic equation. So the general quadratic equation is given by this, which is equals to 0, right? So we want to again solve for x here. So the simple thing is we want to be able, can we express it in this form of x squared plus bx? Right, so in order for us to do that, the obvious thing is to bring c to that side. So we have ax squared plus bx equals to negative c. We can divide by a throughout. So we have x squared plus b over a x, which is equals to a negative c over a, right? So where do we go from here? So now we know that we're now in this format, right? Where with x squared, in this case, our b is b over a. So this is still a constant, and this b is a constant. So in order for us to complete the square, in this example we added b over 2 squared, right? That's what we did. But given that we have both the right hand side and the left hand side, we know that whatever we do on the right hand side, we have to do on the left hand side, right? So we can say x squared plus b over a x plus that constant over 2, which would be b over 2a, right, squared, is now equal to b over 2a squared minus c over a. Okay, so we know that when we added b over 2a, we got this simplification, which is x plus b over 2 squared, right? So we know that this right hand side will reduce to x plus b over 2a squared, which is equals to b squared. We're going to simplify that for a squared minus c over a. All right, so let's go to the next slide here. We have the right hand side as x plus b over 2a squared is equals to b squared over 4a squared minus c over a. Here we can focus on the left hand side. We can simplify that to the common denominator 4a squared, so this becomes b squared minus 4ac. So we can rewrite this as x plus b over 2a squared is equals to b squared minus 4ac over 4a squared. We know that to simplify, we can take the square root, right? So just take the square root on both sides. So if you take the square root here, this will be x plus b over 2a is equal to the square root of b squared minus 4ac over 4a squared. But on the left hand side, we can simplify this a little bit further, which becomes the square root of b squared minus 4ac. The square root of 4 is 2, the square root of a squared is a, so it's 2a. But we know that the result of the square root of any number is going to be plus or minus, right? So we know that negative 2 squared is equals to 2 squared is equals to 4. That's where that's coming from. So now we have x plus b over 2a is equals to plus or minus square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Let's go to the next slide with x plus b over 2a equals to plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a. We make x the subject here, so that means this becomes negative b over 2a plus or minus square root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a, which means x equals to, we have 2a as the common denominator, so x equals negative b plus or minus square root of b squared minus 4ac. Okay, so now we have our quadratic formula, which we can use to solve any quadratic equation. If you like what you saw and you'd like to share, make sure you share with others. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you like the content so that you can get notified when we have new material. Until next time, goodbye for now.